Welcome to Conversations on Faith and Family, a faith-based podcast for parents and marriages looking how to manage and balance life with greater ease and fulfillment. Here are your hosts, Manuel and Raylene.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going? Welcome to another episode here, Conversations on Faith and Family, and we are here all the way from
Barcelona, Spain.
We are in España right now, and it has been an incredible trip. We're winding down on our European trip, and we didn't want to go without actually part two, which we promised you. We're going to talk about Paris.
Yes.
Paris, France, and just what an experience we had. We'll give you some tips, some things to expect. We're also going to do some rankings at the end, which should be a lot of fun. So, again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll dive right in. All right. So, sweetie, what would you say are some of the highlights of the trip?
Definitely the Eiffel Tower. That's like the obvious, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
It was, for me, it was the most incredible landmark I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely gorgeous.
Unreal. You see it in pictures or you see it in photos and you're like, is it really that?
Mm-hmm.
Large on a scale, and you go up to it and you're like, wow, this thing is massive.
It was, it's beautiful. It's captivating. It really is being near there. Just an incredible experience that has to do with, I would encourage everybody has to see it once in their lifetime, but it was just amazing. We also spent a day at Disneyland in Paris, which was a lot of fun. It's smaller than, the typical Disneyland size in Anaheim, the one we're close to.
Yeah.
But it's different. It has its own magic there. It really is an incredible experience. Really like the Walt Disney Studio side of it as well. That was a lot of fun. We went on a few roller coasters and things like that. So that was a lot of fun.
The rides are a lot faster.
They definitely are. And the kids are like 3 going on these rides. That's one of the things we noticed right away.
I was terrified waiting in line. And I'm like, dude, there's like a little 5-year-old in front of me. Go on this roller coaster. Like, grow up.
So that was a lot of fun. So, again, the whole trip, we spent 2.5 days in Paris. And I would say was just incredible. It really is a bucket list item to check off.
Yeah. And
I'm so glad we did it. So I want to get right into our some of the tips and some of the things that we felt like would be helpful for you, and hope that you would write these things down, or if you ever are planning a trip, keep this podcast in mind so you can go ahead and refer back to it.
Yes.
All right. So the first tip I would just encourage anybody who's going to Paris is book a tour. All right, book it ahead of time. We actually booked it through Viator. It is very similar to an Expedia, and they had what we did is, since we're only spending 2.5 days there, we wanted to make sure to take advantage of seeing Paris.
Get the most you can.
Yeah. So we actually booked a tour called Paris in a Day, and it was honestly, it was an incredible experience. We literally, the tour guide that we had, she was incredible, explaining into detail exactly every landmark, every street, every city, why they named it. It was just great.
Yeah, she knew so much.
Yeah.
She was very young, too.
Yeah, and she was very kind, patient. I would highly encourage you. I learned so much just as a man of faith. Montmartre was one of the cities we visited. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that is actually short for
martyrs.
Martyr. What was it?
Martyr.
Yeah, no.
Martyrs.
Montmartre was martyrs of something about martyrs, and it was just incredible just to hear some of the stories of the martyrs that came here to France and the landmarks they have and the churches they built. It was just great.
I mean, she was like straight up preaching on our tour.
Yeah.
She was explaining,
we
heaven
went to the
and
Notre
hell.
Dame. Yeah, we went to the Notre Dame, explained all the particular and the details on the wall and what they mean. and talking about the second coming of Christ and these things.
We would never know what that means unless someone like explained it to us. Like we'd be staring at it for hours trying to like probably figure it out. I mean, we probably would figure it out because we're believers, but it'd been like it's so much easier to have someone explain to you.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to put everything in, in a short period of time. I would highly encourage it. The next one is visit all the churches and cathedrals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would visit it. Like we just mentioned, the Notre Dame. We visited one of the churches in Marseille, and that was just an amazing experience as well.
It's really beautiful when you walk in. Everyone's very reverent and respectful, and you just see the nuns bowing down and praying, and it's like, man, they have so much reverence and respect, and it just kind of puts in perspective too, like our lives in our church. Like, man, we should really take into consideration our church and how we come to worship the Lord. And
she mentioned that a few of the churches that were built were all given by church donation, by the giving in the church, all of that, from the stained glass windows. These are $1 million, cathedrals, and beautiful, just in detail. And just to think that was all given by the people within the church that in those cities were known as an area of poverty, and to still be able to generate that type of structure and architecture is just amazing. So I would highly suggest, and quite frankly, I went in some of these churches and there was a really sweet presence of God's Spirit in those places that is really hard to explain. I was telling my wife, I'm like, man, it feels like there's a sense of longevity and God's presence being in there for a long time, like a sweet fragrance. So I would encourage you to really, check out the cathedrals. Why don't you read the next one, sweetie?
One thing that we would advise you guys to purchase before you come on this trip is one of the portable phone chargers.
Yes.
You use your phone for everything. I mean, for the maps, for Uber rides, to finding the metro station, to finding the places you want to go, pinning where you're at. So you really need to make sure your phone is charged. And it does, your phone does kind of drain battery quickly. Yeah. Because it's just always running and you're, checking in and stuff. So
and Apple literally announced their new iPhones during our trip. And when they do that, your phones just go berserko. So that's exactly what happened with ours. But yes, portable phone chargers. We picked one up for $29.99 at Target the day before our trip. Yeah. It was a Belkin charger, and it has been really a lifesaver.
Yeah, and we've just used that one charger for both of us. So as soon as our phone starts to die, we plug it in for a little bit while we're eating, while we're walking, give it a couple minutes to charge up, and we're good to go.
Yep. So I would go ahead and recommend that. The next one is a small RFID wallet. Oh, yeah. And the reason we want to highlight the RFID is because in Paris there's a big issue when it comes to identity theft, credit card theft. So there are, I've heard stories on other podcasts and other friends that they've gotten their card scanned and their credit card company had to call them and cancel their card on the trip. So imagine taking a card that you were depending on that had zero foreign transaction fee getting canceled. That would be terrible.
That'd be horrible.
And I would also emphasize small, because you want to keep it in your front pocket, not anywhere where you could be pickpocketed. Pickpocketing is huge in Paris, and is very common. Even our tour guide was pickpocketed, and wasn't on our tour, but she said before. So that is huge. So a small RFID wallet. We actually picked up a passport wallet at Fossil. They had a sale. I believe it was $20, a nice leather one that we can keep our passport, credit cards. It was great. So we each have one of those, and that has been great so far. What's the next one?
The next tip I would suggest is bringing really good walking or running shoes. You're going to be walking everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
My legs are so sore and tired. I'm like, I haven't walked this much in a year.
Actually, I'm going to pull up our steps for the last few days. Now, we're in Barcelona, so we already visited Venice, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But just to give you an idea, on our first day of the trip, or actually the day we flew out, we had 5,000 steps. Then we went, first day in Paris, 18,000, then 18,000, then 14,000, then 21,000, then 17,000. Again, this is going from someone who works, a desk job, and you work at a desk as well. So it is a dramatic increase in steps.
Let's just say I need to go see a chiropractor. My lower back is killing me.
So please come with comfortable shoes. Vans are not comfortable enough. I would suggest I wore some. Oh, would you think differently?
I mean, they are, but they're comfortable when you're walking. But you got to be careful if you get blisters easily.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
That's my thing.
I wore some old Ultra Boost, Adidas Ultra Boost that I had. I've had them for a few years. They're very comfortable, and I've been great walking.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have brought some Adidas. I didn't bring any Adidas on this trip. I just brought Vans and.
But you're going to be walking everywhere, so you got to make sure that you're comfortable, that you have something nice on your feet. Now, if you're worried about fashion.
Yeah, don't worry about fashion.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody over here wears tennis shoes and dresses, and that's perfectly fine. So you will be on trend if you're going to rock some like running shoes with like a really beautiful floral dress. Yep. You look perfectly fine. You'll fit right in.
Yeah, and for me, I just wore some shorts, a t-shirt, and some Ultra Boosts. And
I would suggest, too, bringing some sandals.
Okay.
I think we both brought a pair of sandals to give your feet like a breath.
A break.
Yep. Take your shoes off, put your sandals on for just a little bit.
Well, just real quickly, one of the things that I'm very, very not looking forward to when we get home is knowing that we have to go grocery shopping. Ugh. Are you looking forward to that?
No. Nor am I looking forward to it.
I am not either, but there is something that can help us, all right? It's called PrepDish. PrepDish is a healthy meal planning service, all right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you sign up, you'll receive an email every week with a done-for-you grocery list and instructions for preparing your meals ahead of time.
That sounds good.
You'll do your chopping and mixing ahead of time, leaving you with zero decision to be made. Says you'll actually save time and have amazingly delicious meals like a smoky paprika chicken leg, a trio of roasted vegetables, or even a turkey and zucchini lasagna. It says, and my friend, the founder, Allison, she's offering every one of you guys a free 2-week trial just to try it out.
Nice.
So you can't beat that, right?
We are trying it.
All right, so go ahead, go to prepdish.com/CFF. All right, again, that's prepdish.com/CFF, and you can go ahead and access your first 2 weeks absolutely free. Go ahead, rush over there, go ahead and get there. And again, this is, if you eat healthy, you love gluten-free, you love dairy-free, paleo meals that are real foods. They are tasty, they're stress-free, and again, this is something I'm going to take advantage of because I don't want to go grocery shopping and start cooking dinner and doing all these things. I want to make sure that I have something ready, a plan to get right into it. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, prepdish.com/CFF. PrepDish. All right, perfect. So number 6. All right, what's our 6th one, sweetie?
Drink espresso.
Espresso. That's amazing. All right, so the reason it's amazing is because the espresso there is phenomenal. Now, one of the difficult things about being in Orange County and LA is finding a good espresso maker.
Yeah.
They, at every little cafe that you go to, have amazing, amazing espresso makers, and the espresso is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I was drinking 3, 4, 5 shots a day, which isn't good for my blood pressure, but it is great for my trip. All right, so it has been great. Drink the espresso, eat the baguettes.
Yes.
All right, eat the baguettes.
Everywhere you walk, you see people with a big, long piece of bread, and we're like, where are they getting these long breadsticks? They're like lightsabers. They're walking in the street with a big baguette under their arm, and I'm guessing that's what they do every day. Mm-hmm. They bring home some baguettes for the family, cut it up, and enjoy. So we got to take some home, and we were eating them like crazy.
Oh man, they are so fresh. And,
so soft and fresh.
And my family loves bread. My mom loves eating bread. I love eating bread. So
our family
it's
too.
just a dream. So what would be the next one?
The next one is Ubers.
Ubers.